Good day, friend. This episode, I'm going to speak about a quote from Albert Einstein. And that quote is, "The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything." Because from a perspective, this makes it sound like we have to get in there and participate with the muck, with the carnal, in order to clean it up. But when you understand manifestation, you understand that thought precedes all of creation. Your true power is in consciousness. So the most powerful expression and influence you could have on something is your conscious influence, not your physical influence. That's how you create. That's how you've created every single thing in your experience. Some people aren't ready to examine and consider that and understand it and validate it for themselves through their own self-examination. Some people might hold the carnal interpretation, which is that of victimhood, and people are doing this to us, and we have to fight back or take a stand, those types of things. Consider how prayer is healing. Consider how a relaxing thought promotes your relaxation. Consider how a happy thought promotes your happiness. Consider how an angry thought promotes your anger. Your thoughts create your experience. If your experience is one of imposition, meaning others are imposing on you, use your consciousness to validate and feel a different experience and allow that to be created, allow that to be manifest. Jesus didn't walk around using his hands, imposing his will on everybody, holding all the sinners back physically. He went around with conscious influence. So did Buddha. So would anybody who understands this. They go around and they apply their consciousness with deliberate thought to influence expression, to influence manifestation. And the reason I feel like this episode is valuable is because before I understood this for myself, I was very much into the conspiracies. And I won't say the conspiracy theories, and I don't want to make them sound like they're irrelevant or crazy or anything like that, because from a perspective, they are very true, very subjectively true. But from a spiritual perspective, and a perspective that's considering manifestation, they're only a perspective. They don't need to be our experience unless we energize it. And we can influence it by using our mind deliberately in a different manner that changes the energy of what we're looking at. It creates a different experience for us. Anytime you fear something, you're giving your power away. You're looking at something through the carnal. You're not looking through this something through spiritual interpretation. Spirit will never feed you fear. It will never promote fear. Because it understands better. It's not disconnected like the carnal mind. The carnal mind thinks the physical is everything and is trying to manifest peace and abundance and all these. It's trying to manifest things that it has no business manifesting. So it seems hard. It seems difficult. And it seems out of reach. But that's because when you try to manifest through the physical with the effort, well, you're putting the cart before the horse, because it's actually, all creation is preceded by thought. So you begin with thought. And you don't have to get in there into the muck. Course in Miracles says if you go into the light after your friend, or if you go into the darkness and out of the light to save your friend, now there's two people in the darkness. Remain in the light, remain conscious, and allow the other person to come to reach their hand out to you. Wait for them to be ready. So this is, in a sense, kind of me from the perspective of being in the light, being in that conscious awareness, saying, influence these things from consciousness. That's how you've created everything in your experience, is by conscious thought. So when you see something undesirable, recognize that it's just a carnal interpretation of what that thing actually is. And reframe your mind. Renew your mind to divinity. Renew your mind to God. Let Spirit allow Spirit to give you an interpretation of empowerment, so that you can influence your experience towards that peace, towards that empowerment, towards that solution, towards that resolution, towards that relief, towards that harmony. Okay? This isn't to make these things less important to the people that these things are important to, but instead to give them a different perspective and a different approach, which is more freeing. I would say more powerful, because this is where our power comes from. There's no resistance when you approach it this way. And there's less there's no real external effort unless the inspired action comes. Let it come rather than doing everything you can. Let the inspiration come to you and move on the inspired direction. Okay? So we'll leave it there for now, friends. Stay blessed. We'll talk soon.
If you found this episode helpful, please consider sharing it with those who may be ready for its message or in need of a spiritual perspective. If you're interested in personal guidance, either online or via email, in order to better align your practice and experience, helping you to grow deeper spiritually, psychically, as a conscious creator and manifester, affecting all areas of your life, including health, relationships, and abundance, you may contact me at aswithinsoul@gmail.com. If you're inspired to support my works and expanding endeavors in the form of a donation, that would be greatly appreciated and can be done by e-transfer or PayPal using my email aswithinsoul@gmail.com.